Hi, I'm Brian Wicklund. I'm a lawyer with Garfinkel Schwartz. I'm here in our Maitland, Florida office, which is a suburb of Orlando. We also have offices in Titusville, Florida, which is on the Space Coast of Florida. I'm coming to you today to discuss something that's very important for both longshore clients and Defense Space Act clients. At Garfinkel and Schwartz, this is all we do. We represent longshoremen and we represent civilian contractors overseas that get injured. In the longshoreman realm, the importance of getting your own doctor is paramount. What happens is you have companies that you work for that are long-standing companies in the docks or in the rivers or wherever you are in the Great Lakes that have their own doctors that they send everyone to. Those doctors are not necessarily biased, but they actually are ingrained into treating people a certain way at the behest of the company, meaning that they want you to come back to work as soon as humanly possible and not achieve proper medical care along with certain therapies that would be recommended for people that would be going to a doctor of their own choosing. Under the law, you have the right, the absolute right, to a doctor of your own choosing that's a specialist in whatever injury that may occur. Now, when you're talking about overseas contractors, it's even worse. What happens is you're overseas at the mercy of the company, and they send you to whatever doctor that they have on their payroll or whatever doctor that they've associated with. Usually that would be in Germany, possibly in Dubai, maybe even in Iran. I've had clients that have been directed to go to Iran to seek medical treatment. You obviously do not want those people to be diagnosing you without the proper potential medical training and obviously without the ways of the Western world. When you get back home after you're injured, it's very pertinent that you find a doctor in your town of your own choosing that specializes in whatever care that you need is. There are specific examples of things that happen when you go to a doctor that's been chosen by the insurance company or your employer. That would be things like breathing problems, where a general doctor would just basically say that you have COPD, which is a breathing disorder that could be caused by anything, including birth. It's a completely generic description of what your ailment is. You have to go to a doctor of your choosing to get the proper testing done, to get a proper diagnosis to prove your claim. If you don't do that, you're at the behest of the insurance company at their mercy, and when they say that you're okay, even if you're not, they're going to cut your benefits off and they're going to say you can go back to work when potentially you may not be able to go back to work physically or mentally. And so that's why the law is at your disposal, although people don't necessarily know that you can go to a doctor of your own choosing. And if you don't seek legal help, which I would highly recommend, and if you don't seek legal help with our firm, what you really need to do is find a doctor that's well known in your community that is willing to take your claim on and give you the medical help that you need. If you can't do that on your own, you can call. We can help you find a doctor that knows about the Defense Space Act or the Longshore Act that is in tune with what the insurance company is going to try to do, and we can recommend that you see that particular person, and even if you don't hire us, we'll gladly provide that service to you wherever you may be. Again, this is Brian Wicklund with Garfinkel Schwartz. I hope I can help. Thank you very much for your time.